What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Get the Bag podcast. I'm your host, Gladia Castro. I got my co-host, Tim Park.
What
What
up,
is
fam?
up? What's up? Now, today's going to be a really, really cool episode. We've been having guests now the last couple of weeks, and this is a
Yep.
very unique twist. Again, real estate and crypto, you know, uh, people can say whatever they want about crypto, but this person, who we have on coming next, is really taking advantage of the crypto space and using that to build their real estate portfolio. But I'm really excited to discuss and have these sort of conversations. But before we all get into that, don't forget to subscribe, like this video. We're on here every week. So if you happen to have any questions or comments or whatever, please shoot them our way. We're always looking for different topics to discuss. But without further ado, this today's guest is like I said, really, really cool things that he has going on. He actually started in real estate back in 2016 and established a seven-figure company with 10 employees. The company wound down and in 2022, so just barely last year, to really focus on cryptocurrency, which is funny.
Mm.
I've probably heard the opposite, right? Where people wound
Yeah.
down their cryptocurrency to get into real estate, which is why I'm really excited. But they've been actively involved in educating real estate entrepreneurs on the proper way to approach their crypto investments, and with the ultimate goal to utilize cryptocurrency as a wealth creation tool while viewing real estate as a means of wealth preservation. So I'm really excited to welcome Corey Geary to the Get the Bag podcast. What's going on, Corey?
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Good.
We're
What's up,
doing
Corey?
well.
Yeah, thank you so
Now,
much for having me here. I'm truly honored and blessed. It's absolutely amazing what you guys are
of
doing. So thank you.
No, of course. Thank you so much for joining us. And I just found out you're out in PR in Puerto Rico, which is really cool. And kind of the story where you just fell in love with the, I would say a country, but it's a territory, so it's still part of US, but
Right.
it feels like another country. It's a trip. I was just out there a couple months ago. But kudos to you. That may
That's
be another
awesome.
episode probably to talk about living in PR.
Hey,
So we'll
we could
save
do
it for
a
that time.
whole, yeah, we could do a whole episode just on PR, the tax benefits you get, the what you got to go through to get out here. But it's a beautiful country. We love it out here, and we're having a blast. And just keep it real short and sweet. When you're out here, basically, you don't pay any taxes.
Mm.
Bam.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I think we may have to have you come back just for that topic. So we'll pocket that and talk about it then. But yeah, it's really interesting when Tim was telling me about your story and mentioning again, as I mentioned earlier, usually it's the other way around. It's people who failed
Mm-hmm.
in their crypto portfolio completely crashed, as we know. Last year, I actually knew a lot of people who invested heavily and lost a lot of their money. So I'm kind of curious, before you kind of got into crypto, you were successfully running a real estate company. What were you always curious about crypto, or kind of when did you get started into crypto where it got to the point where you're like, oh, let me set this real estate
Absolutely.
to this. Mm-hmm.
So, real estate did well for me. I love real estate, and I still do love real estate. And we plan on implementing real estate back into our portfolios when the timing is right. But real estate, I like to tell people real estate saved my life. So I want to make
Mm-hmm.
sure, really stress on how amazing real estate's been in my life, because I used to be like, I was really going nowhere. I was a drug addict, an alcoholic, and I got into real estate because I was chasing the shiny object, right? The carrot. I wanted more money. And by being around like-minded people, by joining masterminds, by being people who are always trying to get better and level up, that 1% a day mentality is what really made me the person I am today now. And that saved my life. I've been sober for years now. I'm married with a baby. Like people, 10 years ago.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
10 years ago, people would have been like, that's crazy. Corey's married with a kid. Oh my gosh. Right. It's wild. But real estate said a lot of amazing things, and it's forced me to grow into the person I am. And that journey, of course, as entrepreneurs, we're always looking for other, opportunities. We still have shiny object syndrome. I dabbled with e-commerce for a while. Then that didn't work out too well. And then I dabbled with crypto, and it didn't work out too well because my timing was wrong, and I came in at the top of the bull run. But I really wanted to sit down. I really wanted to sit down and learn about this asset because I knew the amount of millionaires and billionaires were getting out of this asset class, and I knew there was something more to it. And when I stopped treating crypto like a casino and I started treating it like a true asset class, that's when I started being successful with it. So I joined masterminds. I started going to events. I started just getting around like-minded people who were on the same journey. Part of the reason why I'm out here in Puerto Rico is because the taxes is great, but that's not what convinced me. Is when I got out here, there was a bunch of guys who are out here in Puerto Rico, like Puerto Rico, the crypto hub of the United States. And these guys are doing bigger moves than I am. They have bigger bags than me. These guys are just on a different level. I always want to be the dumbest person in the room. I always want to be the one who's basically doing the smallest deals. And it's the same way with real estate. I was always doing masterminds. I was always trying to get around people who were doing bigger and better things than me. And I wanted to start treating crypto the same. What I was doing at first is I was burning the candles at both ends. And so like I was literally doing my real estate all day long, running that. I mean, it was, when you have 10 employees and I was basically HR department. I mean, it was very demanding of me. Now I was in the process of training a COO there for a while, but that didn't pan out. If I had a proper COO in place, of course, that could have relieved some pressure. But I was, really studying and learning the cryptocurrency markets at night. And what it really boils down to is market cycles. With a crypto, everything is based around market cycles. Crypto works in 4-year cycles, like clockwork, around the Bitcoin halving. And so like, it's just like in stocks that has market cycles, real estate has market cycles. And Warren Buffett says all the time, you buy when people are fearful and you sell when they're greedy. And so it's just about knowing where you're at in the cycle. It's about knowing how to find the good quality assets that fix a problem, that have product market fit, that are coming out in the middle of the bear market, researching and finding those. That's the tough part. I had to research probably about 50 protocols before I find one that's investable, but I've gotten really good at it. And then once you find those, you go in them. And those are the ones that will be the emerging protocols, the ones that will do 50x, 100x, even 1,000x in the next bull run. The time when, Ethereum was one of those protocols. There was a time when Uniswap was one of those protocols, and all these other different, stuff that came out and did, 1,000x or even a 10,000x. And so it's about learning how to really treat this asset class like an asset class and not a casino. That really kind of flipped the script for me. And so it came a point in my journey where towards the end of 2022, with my having a family, having a baby, I was doing the real estate at the time, doing crypto at night. I was like, man, I have to give one up. And I ended up being in real estate because I was making more money. And that's where the opportunity is now. It's not always going to be that way. It's not always going to be that way. It's where it's at now, where we're at in the market cycle. And so I wound down the real estate business and, went full-time crypto and moved to Puerto Rico. It's kind of wild.
It's a pretty dope story.
And it's kind of what I did when I got into real estate. When I got into real estate, I was a blackjack dealer and working at the casino. And it was good money. And I went a whole year, about a year and a half, where I was doing the dealer job, and it was a night job. So at the very least, I was working at nights when I was about to do the real estate in the daytime. But like, it came a point where, like, man, I have to give one of these up because I'm not sleeping, and it's killing me. And of course, then it was the blackjack dealer job because I was making way more in real estate. And so, and it kind of was the same decision when it came back down. But like I said, we're not giving up real estate. And I'm glad you said this before the show. We're going to use crypto as a wealth creation tool and use real estate as a preservation tool when the timing is right. So
100%. That's awesome. I love your story. I mean, this is amazing. You know, I know you're full-fledged in crypto right now, and going back to kind of the real estate business and you know, the seven-figure company that you achieved from a blackjack dealer to full-fledged company in real estate. What were the key things that you took away? I mean, you went from, you know, blackjack dealer to a real estate firm to where you were making 7 figures, right? So it was a situation. What strategies, I guess, and what principles contributed to that success?
There was multiple principles and strategies of getting to 7-figure business. I would say probably one of the biggest things that helped me get to where I was going with real estate was Sean Terry. Have you guys heard Sean Terry before?
Yep.
He's like the wholesale GOAT. And I really resonate with, you know, everything he embodies as far as family and business. And man, he just taught me everything about KPIs, on how to run my numbers, how to make sure that, you know, if this particular KPI is wrong, what to do to fix it. And so, like, he was my mentor, hold me by the hand all through my real estate journey. Besides novations, like, I didn't learn novations from Sean, but like how to run a business and how to track my numbers and how to, you know, run a P&L and, you know, even keep my books. So for tax purposes, like all that stuff I learned from Sean, his mastermind. And you know, I'm very good at copy and paste. I'm not good at creating the wheel, but someone's already
sometimes you don't have to.
And I'll roll with it, right? And that's what I'm very good at. And I don't want to, like, there's a way that, you know, if there's a business opportunity or someone's already done it more successfully than I could ever do from building it from scratch. And so I've always took that approach, and it served me well. Now, of course, when you do that, joining masterminds, hiring private mentorship, there's money that comes with that at first. But if you have the faith and you know it's going to work, then that's how I went into it as. I mean, and I love Sean, man. I give him kudos to this day. We even did like someone invited me to come on and do this novation talk to their mastermind. And I'll come on and do it. But I'm not practicing right now. So can I bring Sean on? Because Sean's still in the weeds and and they're like, yeah, sure. And so I brought Sean on because, man, he's just been such a blessing in my life. So I would say, one, get in masterminds to be around like-minded people on the same journey as you, always trying to get better, always try to be better, whether it's, you know, my 4 pillars were health, mental, physical, and financial. Mental, spiritual, health, mental, spiritual, financial. And so, because health and physical are the same. Those are my 4 pillars I'm always trying to be better at. And that's what masterminds do, man. They help level you up. And so when I say real estate saved my life, it did. It leveled me up, and it taught me how to run businesses. And it taught me to get sober and get closer to God. I know that's kind of crazy. It's a little out there for the show, but it's the truth.
No.
It's all good.
Truth. Yeah. And man, and that's the thing when you're running high level. And I said, if you want like you know, some tangible information, is know your numbers. You got to know your numbers. You're planning on scaling any business. If you're just trying to wing it and you're not organized, then it's just kind of work out. And so when I really got a grasp of my numbers, my KPIs and what they meant and how to tweak the right version of the business to, fix whatever number might be broken, that's when it really, the business started taking off. That one, and also when I've coupled novations into the company, because that was like, novation was the pinnacle moment of my real estate journey so far. So
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I think sometimes people want, like you said, they especially nowadays, they look for the shiny object syndrome, like what's the quickest way to make money? So they create a Amazon store, like you said, e-commerce. They get into this and that and treat it like a hustle instead of like a business. Like creating a business, it takes work, it takes dedication. You got to track your numbers, like you said, and a lot of people look at that and like, what's the easy way? And really, there is no easy way. But you can take somewhat shortcuts by investing in yourself and joining masterminds where, and that's kind of your shortcut. You still have to put in the work, like you said, but you have somebody that's literally giving you the blueprint. So you take those blueprints and apply it to your business. And so that's where you can kind of like, slingshot your way into success by, holding yourself accountable and all those things. So it's really great that you mentioned that, because there is no secret sauce. Like, we ask everybody the same question and they always give us the same answer. And so I'm hoping for those who are listening out there that maybe, want to get into wholesaling, whatever it is, like it takes a lot of work, and it's okay if it takes you time. Like for some people, they get it quick, they're able to maybe reach success a little bit quicker than others, but you're going to get there if you're consistent about it. So I love that you brought that up in your story. And I think, kind of going back now into crypto, you're basically applying that. And I love that you mentioned, because there are phases or cycles, like you said, in like every realm of like real estate, the stock market, and crypto. And so right now we're in the downturn, right? Like I know so many people that, maybe a year ago that I worked with that were just like, yeah, I'm investing heavily into crypto. I'm going to do this. They were almost treating it like gambling. And when it crashed and they lost so much money, they flipped out. They didn't know what to do. So I'm kind of curious, like what are those market cycles, and how, how does it relate to real estate? Like, is it, how long are they for the most part? Or like, how long did it take you to like understand that?
2 years, at least 2 years of really doing. And that's when I started taking it serious. Not when I was just going in, throwing money around, watching the next YouTuber who was telling me what to buy. Like that was how I got destroyed in the marketplace. And so right now we're in the accumulation zone. So Bitcoin bottomed in last year. Do you guys remember when FTX the collapse happened?
Yes.
They could read the whole So that caused the final capitulation candle on Bitcoin. When Bitcoin hit 15,000, now Bitcoin's at 28,000. We've been running sideways and slightly up to the right all year long, meaning this is accumulation zone before the next bull run. And cryptocurrency works in 4-year cycles. And what you have is right now we have the accumulation zone last year to a year and a half. And that's a time when smart money is buying. BlackRock is buying right now. BlackRock is buying heavy right now, and they buy everything. They buy real estate, they buy businesses, they want to own the world. I swear, those guys are they are unlimited money. It's wild.
Exactly.
And so like we're buying right now, and so this is the time to buy right now, but it's not going to last long, because up to April of 2024, that's when the bull run starts. And how do we know that? It's because that's when the Bitcoin halving happens. And all that means is if you had a mining operation that mined out 10,000 Bitcoin a year, and that's a lot, but let's say you did, and then the Bitcoin halving comes upon you, well, now you're going to mine out 5,000, or you have to double your computer power, and it's very expensive to do that because it's so competitive. So it creates scarcity in the marketplace where it drives price. And then once prices start to drive up, then retail starts to FOMO in, and then that's when all the influencers get involved, and then you start on the nightly news how people are getting rich in crypto, and it's the next thing since sliced bread, and that's when most people get in. That's when most people start buying, and that's the wrong time to buy. That's when you should be selling. And so it's all about playing the cycle correct way. And what we want to do is we're anticipating the next market top to be either Q4 of 2024 or to Q1 of 26. We don't know where the exact top is at, but what we do is we dollar cost average out of the market, and we're in the bull run, meaning we sell over time pieces of our bag. And so we're going to be exiting the market, and we're building a group. We're building a mastermind. We have 103 members in it now of all high-level real estate entrepreneurs. We're talking about people who do apartment syndications, people who have funds, mobile home park guys, self-storage guys. We have fix and flippers and wholesalers in there too. But what we really want to focus on is the guys who are getting these big deals. And so that way, when we get out of the marketplace, and time is right, we can put that money into real estate, into stuff that will preserve our wealth and give us cash flow. And a lot of our tax incentives. I won't benefit from that because I don't have taxes out in Puerto Rico, but a lot of our members need the tax incentive break. Real estate offers some of the best kind of kick the can down the road, if you will, on the taxes for real estate. And you can kind of kick the can down the road your whole life with real estate. And it's amazing that with cost seg and depreciation, and that is kind of the end goal. And we're on a mission to get to 1,000 members in our group. We go to masterminds and events all the time. Speaking at, we're just got back from a mastermind 2 weeks ago, on board with a bunch of people, and then I have to fly back to Florida. Actually, this Wednesday, I'm flying back to Florida to speak at Ron LeGrand's mastermind. Ron LeGrand, if you guys are familiar with him, he's one of the OGs from the 1980s of real estate. He, came shortly after Carlton Sheets. And so we're going to go talk at his mastermind, and it's been a blast. And so we want to marry the two asset classes together, because none makes wealth like crypto. There was 88,000 millionaires and billionaires born out of the crypto market last cycle. So we're from 2019 to 2021, 88,000 millionaires and billionaires were born that kept their wealth, not the ones who lost. There were guys who lost, who got greedy and they held too long, or weren't educated enough about the market or about the asset class, and that's going to happen. And but man, cryptocurrency is the highest appreciating asset known to mankind. And some of the other things that I like about it is that it's permissionless money. And what I mean by permissionless, everything we do in life, it requires permission. Like if I go out the door and I use my credit card, well, that's a third party in between that transaction to approve. If I go to the bank and I pull cash out, I need a third party to access that cash. And so what's really fascinating about crypto is that if I send you $100 and we do everything DeFi, I don't want to get too weeds. DeFi just means decentralized finance. But if I send you $100, there's no third party who needs to prove that. It's permissionless. And so with the world of uncertainty in banks, and in the inflation, in the government doing what they do, and I don't want to get us banned off if we're on YouTube. Crypto is one of the few places that gives us our freedom back. It gives us self-sovereignty, and that's something else that we really love. And so, it's been a blast.
And that's I think that's so cool. I mean, I know that a lot of people need to be educated just on the basics of cryptocurrency, but I know from just your experience and what you're providing, it's just adding like diversity to your already portfolio of investments, right? So I think people need to realize, like we were talking about side hustles, this is not another side hustle. This is
I was
something
gonna
that could
say.
add wealth to you, right? And this is a diverse way of investing in an asset class that will diversify you in your investments. So I think that that just needs to be clear to people instead of thinking it's a get rich quick scheme or
Nothing
it's some
is.
way. Yeah. So like they think real estate is too, right? But there's, as we all
Oh,
know, it takes
nope.
a lot more than just, you know, getting into real estate to make a lot of money in it. So you know, just from that, like what, like I, as crypto as a asset class, you know, what do you typically tell people, like, what do you recommend them on how to build wealth from like crypto? Just saying, you know, after diversifying, and this is just another way of diversifying your wealth, but how do you generate the wealth from crypto?
So the best way to generate wealth from crypto is treat it just like real estate. We're buy and hold investors. So
Got it.
buy protocols that actually cash flow too. And so just like real estate, if you're flipping houses, you can make some pretty serious money. If you're selling houses, you can make some serious money too. Very high revenue, high transactional type business. But it's really the buy and hold guys in real estate who make the long-term wealth, the legacy wealth.
Got it.
It's no different in crypto. The traders all get wrecked. There's only two type of people who get rich in crypto. The founders, of course, that makes sense, right? Someone founds a business, they're going to get wealthy, especially if it does well. Well, the holders are the second group of people who get rich in crypto. If you would have held Bitcoin from 2009, let's just say in 2009, you put $1 in the Bitcoin. I know we didn't know about Bitcoin in 2009, but let's just say you did, because there were some groups of people who did. If you would have put $1 in Bitcoin and just held, not traded, not sold, and try to buy back, no, just held. Well, the last market top, which was in November 2021, your $1 would have turned into $6.5 million. You know, so that's the power of holding the right protocols. Now you got to be careful because 90% of all crypto is scam. It's scams and Ponzi. That's the first to tell you. So you have to be very careful about what you invest in, and you got to do your due diligence and do your research, or at least be with somebody who knows how to do the due diligence research, and you still should be learning how to do it yourself. But that is the key, is finding good protocols or product market fit that solve a problem on the blockchain, and then you invest early. It's really key to be early on a lot of stuff if you want to experience the mad gains. I mean, Ethereum, and most people who know what Ethereum are, know what Ethereum is. It came out in 2014. It did a 15,000x from its bottom to its top. So if you'd have put $1,000 into Ethereum and sold roughly around the top, you would have made around $14, $15 million just by holding. But you would have to hold for years. Here's the thing: what people want to do is they want to go in there and trade back and forth, and they want to treat it like a casino, and they think they're going to get their 100x overnight. That's not how it works. You got to like, there's got to be money you put away that you don't need for a couple of years, that you don't need. Like if this is your rent money or your mortgage money or your business, you know, operating money, this is not money that you need that tomorrow. This is money you need years from now. And so that's key. Even though we cash flow our crypto and we invest in protocols that spit off cash flow, and it's in crypto terms, we don't take the money out. We let the portfolio build on itself, and we compound it. Right now, because we're in the accumulation zone. Now, come, you know, Q1 25, yeah, it's time to start taking some money out and start rolling that money into real estate, and we'll start doing that. But right now is not the time. If you were cashing out your cash flow, you look back in 25, you're like, man, I sold the bottom. Because the only way you can get it is you sell, right? You got to sell it into fiat. Fiat's what we call the dollar. You know, you got to sell into fiat, and that goes to your bank. And so, yeah, right now it's all about accumulation and building positions. So, yeah, this is not a side hustle because you're not supposed to make money right now from it. It's an investment, long-term investment. The beautiful part is by you diversifying, and it could be 1%, it could be 2%. You don't have to bet the farm to buy the farm with crypto. It doesn't take a lot. So you diversify now, building your position, even a little bit can go a long ways, as long as you can have the long-term mindset on your portfolio. So that's the key. And so, yeah, so I'm glad you said that. It's not a side hustle, because it's not. It's not like going create an e-com store trying to get cash right now.
Right. I mean, the principles, like what you're telling me, if whatever, say you remove crypto from whatever you just said, like that can be applied to anything, in any asset class. Like you could have been talking about real estate for that matter. Like the principles are very much the same. You can't expect to get rich from a hustle or gambling or just putting in money and then getting upset and, Twitter fingers and, talking all this mess about crypto and how it's dead and which, obviously it's very, very much not, if you do it right.
Yes.
I know we're approaching the end, but we do have a couple more questions, kind of with your expertise now that you've gained over the last couple of years. You talked about the blockchain, and then how you're planning to roll out money perhaps in 2025 or so. Where do you see the future of real estate and crypto? I mean, we've even talked about, actually buying properties with, I think some people have purchased it with crypto. Like where do you think we'll meet where, we get to that point?
I've had many discussions with the crypto bros and the real estate guys. Crypto is right on cue with this normal market cycle. I mean, if you were to pull up the last market cycle chart with the overall cryptocurrency market cap, like it's following it to the T. And so like it will continue to do what it's going to do all the way into next year, into 2025. What's interesting though, and we're not sure about this, is, the Feds have been raising interest rates. They've been doing what they do. And typically after the Fed pivots, now this is history, you can look, every time the Fed makes a pivot on the interest rates and they start lowering the rates, the economy goes into a recession, meaning that, stocks take a hit, real estate takes a hit. And so it'd be quite interesting if I think next year, with the presidential election and everything else, they might even turn the money printer back on. I don't know. It's very hard to say, but I think next year, I think it's going to be good for all markets. But after that, at some point, we're going to have to face the music for all the interest rate hikes that they've been doing and all the liquidity they've been sucking out of the marketplace. And so it'd be quite fascinating if crypto was on its top of the bull run and we end up going to the recession, because crypto would crash too first. But you take profits out and then slowly get into real estate as real estate's kind of in its bottom. Right. And real estate doesn't get hit really hard. It's not like crypto. Crypto can go down like 95% at its top. And real estate, I'm from Phoenix. In the last market cycle, we saw like 30% off the home prices, which is a lot for real estate. If you get in the US, you get that kind of volatility in real estate. But you can still have some great buying opportunities, overall. I think if it lines up the way it is in my head, it could be generational wealth from going from one asset class into the next. So, and I could be totally wrong about it. We might not have a recession, and that's fine too, because then all the gains I make from crypto, I'll still put in the estate to preserve my wealth, and that's fine too. It's just that, real estate's been on the biggest bull run we've seen in the last 13 years than it's ever been on. It's quite remarkable if you look at the charts on what real estate's done. And it's great. It's made me more money. I love real estate, but yeah, it'll be kind of interesting to see if how those dynamics play in the future. And I mean, unfortunately, nobody knows. We don't have a ball.
Yeah.
Right. But we can
just have cool discussions like these.
Right.
Yes. you want to think of all the different outcomes that could happen. That way you're not blindsided and be like, oh, I didn't expect that to happen. And so, and try to talk to more, like always trying to talk to the smarter people than me. Like,
Right.
where are you at? What do you think is going to happen in 2025? It's yeah, that's the key.
Yeah. One quick question about taxes. Like, let's say you made money on crypto and then you want to use that money to buy real estate. Now, you don't pay capital gains tax on that money that you made if you invested in real estate. Is that correct, or is that incorrect?
Ooh, so I do believe you're going to pay. So say you go to sell the crypto and you want to put it in real estate, you're going to pay capital gains on that from your cost basis to the price point you sold. But then now you're going to put it in real estate, and now you're going to start getting some of that money back through cost seg and through depreciation.
Correct.
So it's
okay.
money you're going to fork out at first, and this money you're going to start getting back via the real vehicle. But I am not an accountant. This is not financial advice.
No. I'm just.
So
right.
Yeah, real estate is one of the best wealth preservation tools known to man. I mean, just how crypto is the highest appreciating asset known to man. Real estate is the best wealth preservation known to man. If you look at all the top millionaires and billionaires, they own real estate. A lot of them didn't get rich from real estate, but they preserved their wealth from real estate. And it works great. Now, you can get rich from real estate too. I mean, real estate made me a millionaire. There's no two ways about it. But it preserves it much better.
Right. And I was actually just having a conversation because I'm in the tech space as well. And how many people, because if you're a CEO or, a high earning tech professional and you're holding on to that really, your high 6-figure, 7-figure income, you're going to get taxed like crazy. So, I mean, it's natural. People are looking like, where can I invest it? Some people invest in crypto. You have to diversify, not all eggs in one basket. So I love, that you brought that up. This has been so, with people that will be like, these are huge nuggets, gold mines that you've been dropping on us. For as we, end this episode, where, for anybody that kind of wants to get started or is interested, like how can they reach you? Because I think you mentioned you're building out a mastermind.
DM me on Facebook or Instagram, although I am on Facebook a little bit more than I am on IG. But you can DM me on there. It's me who checks my DMs. And so that's the best way probably to go ahead and reach out to me about any of this stuff. And
Awesome. What do you want to leave the audience with before you take off?
Yeah. So I want to say you need to know your why when you're becoming an entrepreneur and you're trying to grow wealth. And one of the biggest misconceptions is people are trying to figure out their why. They have these gurus tell them if you need to map out your why, and that's what's going to make you keep pushing on. I got news for you. Your why is not your parents. Your why is not your kids. Your why is no outside external sources. If your why is not you, because you know you deserve abundance and you deserve love and you deserve everything God had intended for you here on this planet, if you don't feel like you deserve this and you don't understand where you fit, then you're not going to, the problem is you won't make it. And so you have to learn to love yourself and understand your deservance of the abundance that God has put in front of you. But until you feel like you deserve it, you will not receive it. So your why should always be you. Then it can go to the external sources like your kids or mom, dad. And, I've got a daughter. Of course, I love her with all my heart. But if I didn't love myself truly first, then how can I love another? And so just remember that when you're going to these, gurus and these workshops, and I love them all, don't get me wrong. Remember, your why should be you.
Boom.
I love
I
that.
completely
Wow.
love that. I'm very much, I've been really looking to my spirituality as well. And one of the things I've learned is the mind and body are one, but a lot of times they
Mhm.
work, you know, until they work together, they're separate. You can say, I want to be this or I'm going to be this, but if your body isn't aligned with that feeling,
Yep.
with those
It will.
thoughts,
Mhm.
you're going to be lost. So that's the
Yep.
one main thing I've been working on myself as well, is not only saying it
It,
or thinking
it
it, but
takes a lot.
feeling it.
Learning to
It's a
love myself
process.
was one of the hardest things I ever did.
Mm.
Right.
But it was this real estate journey that taught me that. So, you
Right.
know, it's,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I love it, Corey. Well, thank you so much for the tons of knowledge that you just dropped on us.
100%.
We'll make sure
Absolutely.
to add all your contact information in the description, because again, it's just mind blowing, and we'll definitely have to have you on for part 2 to talk about
Yes.
PR and living in
Yeah.
PR and the tax benefits there
We have
that
to come
you're
out there for sure.
experiencing. I
When I'm
already
visiting,
told Corey off the stage. I said, "Hey, the next time I'm visiting, I'm hitting him up." So,
Yeah,
well,
love it.
I love it. Well, Corey, appreciate you again. Appreciate everybody who tuned in. Hope you guys got a lot out of it. Make sure to hit up Corey if you're, interested in learning more about crypto or just in general. Shoot him a DM on Facebook. But hope you guys have a great rest of your week. We'll catch you guys next week. See y'all
peace,
later.
guys.
Peace.
Peace.